Hello peeps, this is a hillbilly half-wit, Gaza, and today we're going to be talking about Sustrans. And I've been saying to you before that Sustrans is one of these big organisations that looks like a charity, but it's actually mingled in government. It's mingled within the far left Welsh government so much. It's deciding all the policies on the road, and these lot are full-on doomsday cult members, and they're getting huge amounts of money. So before we carry on, all I'm going to say is we're going to do one video. Please listen to it all first, of the guy in charge, because you'll see about 2/3 through what his real thoughts are on all this. They don't want you on any car or to have any freedom, basically. And the other one is a lady in charge of Wales, the far left nutter, political, straight from the off. You can see by it, they have been appointed by people to push their views onto the rest of society. They are a small minority pushing their views onto the rest of society. So please comment, rate and subscribe, and please watch these videos. You will be surprised. And then go and look for them on YouTube. I'll put the whole links to everything. So this is just to add to all this. I went onto Facebook this morning, on my own personal Facebook. I don't put my videos up there. And lo and behold, I've had a fact check on that sun photo on the left. That is false information, apparently saying that the sun controls the Earth's heat. Well, there we are. What can we say about it? There we are. That's the thing of it. Look, and people who repeatedly share false information might have their posts moved lower in the news feed, so other people are less likely to see it. So this was put up in January, and it's taken till now. So is that a coincidence that I'm having this trouble this week? We will not know. So let's see what's going on with Sustrans. Now, you got to understand that this is a small amount of people with a lot of power that are deciding. They're actually put in partnership with the Welsh government, and they are deciding what you can do. The personal freedoms are pushed out the window by these cult members, I tell you. They've sneaked into positions of power all around Wales. Let's read a bit of it. Apparently, we all need to live and work 15 minutes from our homes. 15-minute cities, understanding and covering active travel challenges across Wales. Sustrans give talk on their plans ahead for us. That is their plan. They can deny it, but they all talk about it now. This is the boss.
Buy a pint of milk, and that has to change, and that's not about technology. That's about how we think about transport, how we plan our places, and how we want to live.
Please listen to all of this. He's the boss.
I think there's two options. There's a sort of heaven scenario and a hell scenario. The hell scenario is if we believe that technology is going to save us. If we think that, for example, by turning all our metal boxes into electric metal boxes and self-driving metal boxes, we will solve issues of congestion, we will solve climate change, we will solve poisoned air. We won't. And what we'll find is greater demand than ever for moving around, shuttling around in our metal boxes. And whilst we might solve some of those things, it won't actually look that much different than today. I think the other option is that we actually work out how to change transport so it serves us, so it helps us live better. And in that scenario, what we'll probably find is that actually we spend more time walking, cycling, electric bikes or otherwise, and transport better shapes how we want to live, rather than being seen as something that just shuttles us round from A to B and everything fits around the technology. I think in reality, it will be somewhere between those two, and I'm hoping it's going to be more like the heaven option.
Now is when he starts to say his true stuff.
So the first thing that stands in the way is what you might call sunk interests. Capital, beliefs, technology, what we've invested in to date, transitioning to electric cars, which is going to happen. Currently, we've got petrol stations, we pump oil everywhere. The disruption to that supply chain is huge. However, if you think about it, we've got to a point where we are able to transport a highly flammable liquid around the country so that pretty much within 5 minutes of where you live, you yourself can get access to it. Compared to that, setting up some electric charging points and providing more generation, whilst a challenge, a technical challenge, it's going to happen. It's not that hard. But obviously, all the capital that's invested, so the oil majors that are getting very good at talking about new energy, 95% of their capital in most cases invested in the old way, and it's going to take time to change that. I think the bigger barrier is the way that we think about transport. So we think about transport as something that can just happen. The reality is that it's killing our planet, and it's leading us to live more lonely lives. And back to the challenge of climate change, it is hugely resource intensive. We're going to need to mine the ocean to provide the chemicals, to provide the batteries to power electric cars. It is hugely energy consuming to get in a metal box, to move a mile, to buy a pint of milk. And that has to change, and that's not about technology. That's about how we think about transport, how we plan our places, and how we want to live. And I think that getting over that obstacle, that's the biggest barrier, that mindset shift. But the good thing is it's just a mindset shift. If we can do that, we can surely get over the other barrier.
Now, if you see there, that guy was talking about energy. You imagine the energy from me to cycle. I love cycling, by the way. I've cycled since I was a child. All through my life. I'm 52-year-old. I still love cycling. But if I wanted a pint of milk, I wouldn't particularly want to jump on my bike and cycle a couple of miles to town in the pissing rain to get a pint of milk, because that would use more energy than I'd get the milk, wouldn't it? So if I go in a car to get some shopping, especially if I can't walk or I'm disabled, that it's a lot easier. That's what's called progress. So let's just go through this bit here. That guy is an academic cult leader. We all know it. You can tell from how they speak. Let's go through what they want, really. So 2020 to 29 is on the left. 2030 to 49 is on the right. So road vehicles from 220 to 229. Development of petrol diesel engine ends. Any new vehicle introduced from now on must be compatible with absolute zero. 30 to 49. All new vehicles electric. Average size of cars reduced to 1,000 kilograms. This is what they believe. Rail. 20 to 29. Growth in domestic and international rail as a substitute for flights and low occupancy car travel. They want you out of your car, boys and girls. Further growth, so 30 to 49, further growth with expanded network and all electric trains. Rail becomes dominant mode for freight as shipping declines. 20 to 29, flying. All airports except Heathrow, Glasgow and Belfast close with transfers by rail. 2030 to 49, all remaining airports close. This is real stuff. 20 to 29, shipping. There are currently no freight ships operating without emissions, so shipping must contract. 30 to 49, all shipping declines to zero. 20 to 29, heating. Electric heat pumps replace gas boilers and building retrofits. Air tightness, insulation and external shading expand rapidly. 30 to 49, programmed to provide all interior heat with heat pumps and energy retrofits for all buildings. 20 to 29, appliances. Gas cookers phased out rapidly in favour of electric hobs and ovens. Fridges, freezers and washing machines become smaller. 30 to 49, electrification of all appliances and reduction in size to cut power requirement. 20 to 29, food. National consumption of beef and lamb drops by 50%, along with reduction in frozen ready meals and air freighted food imports. 30 to 49, beef and lamb phased out, along with all imports not transported by train. Fertilizer use greatly reduced. These people are absolute nutters. They're fanatics. We all know it. This guy here was deciding everything in Wales. He was the man who decided basically the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit, and he's gone from there now. He was making a lot of money. Now, look, you watch this. Lee Walters. Lee Walters is a member of the Senate of Llanelli. He served for 5 years as minister in Mark Drakeford's Welsh government with a range of responsibilities, and generated international interest in his reform to transport policy and developing practice around the functional economy. His work on digital reform and public services also had considerable impact. Before being elected in May 2016, he was the director of Wales' leading independent think tank, the Institute for Welsh Affairs. He ran sustainable transport charity Sustrans in Wales, where he led the successful campaign for the world's first active travel act. He is a former chief political correspondent of ITV Wales, a BBC producer, and House of Commons lobby correspondent. This guy has made huge amounts of money, and these Sustrans people have put him right in the middle. This was a lady the other day on the bike. They expect you to take your kids to school on a bike. This is no joke. This was the one we caught the other day. So this lady here pretended to be a woman with no thoughts in it all. Was this one. I haven't put a name there, but basically she's a project manager for Sustrans, making 70,000 a year. And that paper had to remove the article. This bunch here are in Wales. They're deciding all our futures and all our individual freedoms on 70,000 each. And that lady in the bottom right, they were all far left activists. This is only the tip of the iceberg. I'll show a video of that lady on the bottom right there now. See what you think.
Our default speed limits across Wales, which have made communities noticeably safer for those who walk, wheel and cycle. In contrast, at the UK level, the Prime Minister has announced plans to relax net zero policies and create a plan for the motorist, which would curb local authority powers to introduce 20 miles an hour speed limits, reduce traffic fines and prevent road user charging. That news follows the UK government's decision to cut the budget for active travel, which signals a significant change of direction. But we know that when we plan for cars, we attract more cars. And so the UK policy direction means more cars, more congestion, more pollution and more unhappiness. By contrast, our vision at Sustrans is for a society where the way we travel creates healthier places and happier lives for everyone. Making it easy to access the things we need and increasing opportunities to connect with each other and the world around us not only keeps us all moving, but it increases health and well-being at the same time. That's why we today are focusing on creating healthier, happier neighbourhoods in Wales.
Sounds all nice and bubbly.
We're fortunate to have a government in Wales that understands the need to provide choice and make it easy for people to make sustainable and active journeys. So we're going to be looking at placemaking for active travel this morning, and our figures show that there is support for places that prioritise people.
Listen who they
are.
We
carried out a survey in 2019 which found that nearly 2/3 of UK teachers would support car-free roads outside schools during drop-off and pick-up times. 90% of parents and residents would support a street closure regularly outside the school. More recently, in 2021, our Walking and Cycling Index report for Cardiff demonstrated that 65% of residents support the creation of low-traffic neighbourhoods, or healthy neighbourhoods, as I like to call them. 46% agreed that closing streets to cars during school drop-off and pick-up times would improve their local area. And the economic analysis supporting that report suggests that the net benefit for individuals and society from all walking wheeling trips is £182.3 million a year.
They are going to push this through.
Some of you might be thinking, well, that's all very well for urban areas, but what about those rural communities where, it can be perceived as more difficult? But at Sustrans, we are working with authorities and schools right across Wales, and that includes rural communities in Powys, Ceredigion and Denbighshire, just to name a few.
That is my area. got a bunch of clowns in charge of everything. We have got academic people who are in a cult deciding what's going to happen to our lives. A small amount of these people, a few thousand people in Wales, are deciding to take away all our individual rights. And I think that's what's causing all the problem. It's just because we're in a cycle on the sun. But this is scary stuff, people. People like this here, they look all nice and cute and bubbly, and they talk nice and bubbly until you listen to what they want you to do and what they are going to push you into doing. And notice these are all young people who haven't got to a stage in their life when they got ill and they can't move around. People need to wake up to this. That's why all your little cities, in every council in every area has got one of these muppets in charge of it now, and that's why in your little town or village you're having your pavements ripped up. 15-minute cities are here, and if you don't believe it, all you got to do is to go and look for it for 5 minutes. And this lot are a far left, academic-led cult that's got wheedled their way into the Welsh government and all of councils all around the UK, making millions. So please comment, rate and subscribe. As I usually say, all the best, Gaz.